Confirm.
Oh, Teddy.
Good to go.
Lovely. Well, welcome everyone to another enthralling episode of Basement Quality Banter. We are on episode 50, which means we've bored you enough for the last year or so. Good evening, Angus. Do you have a beverage?
Yep, just pouring it. I got my beer subscription today, and I'm trying out Jarvis Bay's Dark Lager.
Oh, nice.
I got some ether beers with it as well, which I've drank a million of them, but they're good beers. Happy with that.
And good evening, Caesar. Do you have a beverage?
Evening. I do. I also have a beer subscription. So I started on Chuck and Sons, so Brewing Co. So Chuck Hahn. So I have their Amber Ale.
Oh, nice. American Amber.
Yeah. So it also comes with a hat and a Stowie cooler that is too small for the beer that he sent, but that's okay.
Oh, lovely colour.
Yeah, really nice.
For those watching, that's a lovely colour. I've got two beers because one of them's half empty.
I haven't seen mine.
It's dark as your heart.
Yes. I've got the classic Ben Spoke Crankshaft IPA from Canberra.
Ooh, classic.
It's 3 weeks old and it's tasting superb. And with it being on special at my workplace at $12 a 4-pack, it's I've gone through a few of them. So it's a bit of a steal, that one.
That's ripping value.
It is, and it's fresh, and I forget how good it is. So I'm enjoying it, and when I finish that, I will be trying the double red IPA from Mountain Culture, which is DJ's baby recipe that he started at Oscar Blues and produced former tenant at Modus, and now it's at Mountain Culture. So that's my drinks this evening. So well done to both of you on the Blind Boy Brewing episode last week. Really interesting how Jacob has overcome challenges. You ended up visiting Angus?
Yeah, I got there on Saturday with the family. So it was good. Their Imperial Black IPA was tasting pretty good. So I didn't actually try any of the other beers. I just had two of them. It was that good.
Yeah.
There's probably about 20 people sitting down to watch the doco. And look, it's a really enjoyable visit into Jacob's world. There's a bunch of things that you really don't think about, and the amount of perseverance and tenacity he's got to get to where he is now, brewing his own beer and having set up a commercial brewery and selling it. It's pretty inspiring. The doco, like I said, was really enjoyable. It's a bit raw in places. I was chatting to Jacob afterwards, and he said that he had a 30-45 minute interview with the guy who made the doco. His name slips my mind.
Yeah.
And he said that bits of that full interview were cut into the 15 minutes. So there's some bits in there that are a bit raw as he talks through some personal struggles. But yeah, look, it was really enjoyable, and it's on for the next 2 weekends. So get out there and support a small brewery just starting out.
Yeah, fantastic.
Enjoy the story.
I love the whole story, and thank you again to Jacob for jumping on. He's jumped on a couple of other, Crafty Pints and Beer and Brewer and some other stories too. So
Triple
definitely.
Z, he's been a big media whore.
Yeah, but why not get the story out and reap the rewards, I say. So in other beer news, I had my hometown hero, Great Hops, has announced their closing of the 24th of May. They're cleaning and wrapping up all of the brew kit, but not looking to sell it, which I thought was really interesting. I think they must have plans in the future. They were saying they want to focus on the kids. So maybe when the kids get older, they'll give it another crack. It's really tough being a regional brewer with even less population to support the business, as well as the bigger Welder's Dog there in Armidale and several wineries already in town. So the fact that such a small regional town has 2 established breweries is quite impressive considering. And then even Uralla just down the road has the New England brewery as well, and then there's Deepwater up the road. So there's quite a bit of local stuff around. But
yeah, it's a good crawl when you're heading down the highway south. I've stopped in at all of those places at the same time.
Yeah,
on the same trip.
Yeah. And so definitely they've it's an interesting one. They're gonna keep all the equipment and wrap it up. So hopefully we'll see more of Great Hops later. They've got a silo there for their grain, so they've definitely got a decent setup as well. So my next story is there's a free festival by Hobart Brewing Co., the Hobart Community Hop, in conjunction with HPA, and it's a free beer festival in Hobart on April 11, and there's mainland and Hobart breweries attending, like Bright Brewery, Duquesne, Hobart, Communion, Bic, King River, Welcome Swallow, Bridge Road, Little Rivers, Buttons, Island State, Shambles, Hopfields, and a couple of ciders, Last Rites, T-Bone, Little Green Men. And it sounds like a really cool event that they're putting on, and there's going to be some music and a beer festival that's free, and then you get to pay and try all these different beers. I think it's a good way of getting the crowds around.
Yeah, Tassie knows how to put on events and things for tourists. It's expensive, but they've really got it nailed down on providing good events, enjoyable events.
And Angus, you had something about hip hop brewers have been invited to attend a trade delegation in Japan.
Yeah, so hip hop, yep, they've been invited to attend a trade delegation. So it sounds a little bit unusual, despite them having to pay their own way. That really sounds like a good opportunity for them. Last year they were asked to produce a beer for a visiting Japanese delegation, Tomodachi Lager, which translates as friendship.
Yep.
And so that beer was presented to the visiting Japanese delegates. And when that beer won gold in the Queensland Beer Awards, the mayor of Sanyo Odono sent a congratulatory letter to the brewing team at Hip Hop Brewers. So already sounds like they've got some connections there already with Japan, and Sean, the owner, mentioned pursuing further partnerships while he's there, and possibly getting the lowdown on starting up Queensland's first sake production facility.
Wow.
So that sounded interesting.
That'd be awesome.
You've got to diverse when times are tough, and if you've got that connection, what a great idea.
What's more diverse than sake in Australia?
Yeah, definitely. And you had a story about Two Bays.
Yeah, so Two Bays have announced a new venue, the Free House, which will be launched in mid-26 in Collingwood. And it's going to continue their laser focus on gluten-free and celiac products, with the venue offering 100% gluten-free menu and beverage list. So I can only imagine that being quite relaxing for people to go to the venue and choose whatever they see anywhere, and not have to be concerned about gluten content, or where they're going to end up in hospital because it's got gluten in the products. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, great idea. It's a good spin-off from the gluten-free beers. They have a gluten-free, venue as well.
Yeah, so that was a full venue, like a full restaurant with beers on and drinks on the side, not just a kind of a tap house type thing.
Yeah, nice. I had Patagonia has teamed up with a really cool brewery, Deschutes, in the States. And Patagonia is, of course, the merchandise brand of clothing, predominantly for hiking. And they've come up with two beers, two non-alcs and two alcoholic beers. But all four of them use Kernza. One we've mentioned before. It's a perennial grain that it can help restore damaged soil and draw down carbon. It's like barley, but you don't have to replant it every year. It's perennial, so it keeps going. And then they're using organic hops, which they're calling out, but I can't for the life of me think of anything that hop farms use that wouldn't allow them to be organic anyway. I don't think there's pesticides and stuff used in hopping, but I could be wrong. But I thought that was really interesting of a partnership, an organic, non-alcoholic IPA and organic, non-alcoholic pale ale, and then they've got a Kearns lager and an organic lager as well. So an interesting one, and Deschutes know how to make lots of really cool beers. So it's not a surprise that they've gone that way. Caesar, what did you have tonight?
I just got a couple of things. So I had a report from the American Brewers Association. Basically, it just sort of outlined the state of the industry, and also listed their top pubs, which is very, very important. Everyone needs to know that. Basically, they reported that the industry is in decline, about 5.1% from 2025, which is not great. I mean, brew pubs are actually okay. They're 1.7% down, but it's microbreweries and regional breweries that, like, microbreweries are 8.9% down, and regional breweries are 5.9%. So definitely in major cities, they're being supported, but not so much the little boys which is not so good. But most importantly, everyone wants to know the top 50. The important point to note is that Sierra Nevada came in at number 2.
Nice.
Boston Beer Co. came in at 3, and America's oldest brewery, Yuling and Son, came in at 1.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we don't see Yulings over here, but
no. Yeah. So very good. So, and then the only other thing I really needed to, in the interest of keeping it reasonably tight, there's a craft beer festival in Cairns this weekend.
Nice.
This Saturday, out at Hemingway's. They got McAllister, Copperload, Billy Cart, Maggie Island, and Hemingway's all on tap. And I think the 5 breweries are going to have a kind of a beer Olympics, which will be a little bit interesting. So if you're in the area, good to go down. Good for tourism.
Yep. And what's that one called?
It's called the Cairns Craft Beer Festival.
Oh wow,
nice and simple.
Yeah.
Cunning.
Yep. Yep. Very cool. I had a post that Saccharomyces put up about it. I can't believe it's not Swansea Day. So they weren't able to get the Swansea Day keg this year. I think it's gone down to Melbourne, but the Cantillon kegs are dropping at Saccharomyces on Mother's Day. So they've got a Goose, Craig, St. Lamvinus, and Nath. So 20 litre Cantillon key kegs have been sent to Saccharomyces, and it's going to be a not Swansea Day celebration at Saccharomyces. So if you want some 100% lambics, that is the place to go and get them.
What sort of maniac puts Cantillons on Mother's Day weekend?
Yeah, that yeah. Look, it depends on if your other half or mother or loves their lambics, then that will work really well. But if they don't, you could be in trouble going to spend the day at Saccharomyces sipping on those ones while they're there.
Yep. My wife had her 40th birthday drinks at Slipstream on the weekend, so she chose that. So maybe nice. I've got a chance.
Nice, yes. And how was it?
Actually, it was really nice. I got a beer here from what did I pick? I picked up the IPA. I've just forgotten the name of it. I'll think of it in a minute.
G-Force?
GeForce, thank you very much.
Yes.
So yeah, no, that went down quite well. I can't complain there. Had a few of their on tap specials, particularly their limited edition. So quite like their dark lager that's on the moment. They got a nitro red as well, which I was getting into.
Very nice. Very nice.
Nitro red. Nice.
Speaking of that, Angus, you had a story about the top 10 pubs in Brisbane.
Yeah, it's one of those recurring articles when they run out of stuff to talk about. The latest top 10 pubs in Brisbane. I was going to skip it, but what caught my eye was the lead photograph was a old style British hand pump.
Okay.
So that seemed very interesting. So the first pub that I had listed is the Rose and Crown in South Bank. So apparently they've got some hand-pulled cask ales, Guinness pints, Scotch eggs, Cumberland sausages, and Guinness pie. That all sounds like a very, very traditional British pub experience. So I think that's on my list. Pints of Guinness and Scotch eggs.
Yeah, not wrong.
It sounds very much like Angus.
I can't remember the last time I went to the Rose and Crown. That's a great. I'll have to revisit.
I've done it very early in the morning. We sometimes do a pub crawl with some friends of ours for Black Dog over Christmas, and we seem to start at South Bank. So 10 o'clock in the morning there is interesting.
Yeah.
Scotch eggs and a pint of cask ale.
Goes down perfectly for breakfast.
The only other pub one there, Archive was also mentioned there. With their section mentioning their very extensive list of craft beers on tap. And I'm actually very much overdue for a visit to Archive. I haven't been there in a few years. And the other pubs on the list were, as you'd expect, suburban pubs with big boy beers, big screens, and pokies.
Did you know that they can't have pokies in South Bank?
Ah.
Really?
It's one of the rules that they put in to make it more family-friendly environment. Yeah, but there's no gaming in South Bank, which I think is great. But I didn't know it was an actual rule.
Yeah, now you mention it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense though when you think about even the old casino and the new one now is still just a bridge across the bridge. So maybe they're just trying to say, hey, go to the casino instead.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Ruin my good ruin my good point. Yeah.
But yes, that's fair enough though.
And Angus, you also had something about Scenic Rim in southeast Queensland.
Yeah, well, I'm blabbing about articles. MediaNet have a really interesting article on historic pubs around the Scenic Rim in southeast Queensland. As an aside, the name Scenic Rim always makes me giggle inside my helmet when I'm motorbiking around the Conunga Ranges.
Usually when you fall off your bike is when you see the Scenic Rim. Yeah,
just a little 8-year-old inside me has a giggle.
That's your mate behind you seeing the Scenic Rim.
Yeah. All right. Back on track. The most interesting venue on the list is the Royal Hotel in Harrisville, which sounds like a really good old style country pub. And interestingly, it's got on-site space for camping or caravans. So you can go there and have an old style country pub dinner and have a few beers, and then wander down to your tent. Sounds pretty good to me.
Or your bike swag, perhaps.
Yeah, bike swag. Yeah.
Not that I'm dropping any ideas.
Yeah, well, I was thinking we could do a trip to the Rose and Crown, but I'm happy with a motorbike overnight camp as well. You should get a motorbike, Caesar, or you can ride bitch if you want.
That's it. We got to get Caesar on 2 wheels.
I'm staging enough on 4, let alone 2.
So the Royal Hotel has been open as a pub for 151 years.
Ooh.
So it has to be one of the oldest southeast Queensland pubs getting around. And apparently the pub is haunted by several ghosts, including Margaret Holy, who had the pub built in 1875 and was one of Queensland's first female publicans. So
that's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. I'll place a link to the article in the Facebook group once we finish the podcast.
Yeah, nice. Love it. Did you have any more beer news, Caesar?
Not really. There is a few things floating around, but I wasn't overly keen on a bit of everything. So it's fine. It was like I can't find it now because I closed it, but there was definitely there was a brewery opening up in WA, but I didn't read enough into it to really follow it up.
Well,
Sorry.
that's basement quality research, honestly, son.
I know, tell me about it.
Oh, what do you think this is?
Just
Yeah,
make
Well,
stuff
true.
up.
that means that we're ready to go around the world with Angus.
Around the world with Angus, this week we're landing in Nuku'alofa in Tonga. So Nuku'alofa is the capital of Tonga, and the language of Tonga is Tongan, and I think English was also listed. I'm not sure if it's one of their official languages or just a very common language that everyone can speak. The Tongan currency is the Tongan Paanga. Some cool facts I found out. The country is actually made up of 171 islands, of which only 45 are known to be inhabited, unless there's a few pirate islands sneaking around in there somewhere. Fiji and Samoa are their close neighbors in distance and also history and culture. Tonga probably have closer ties. Tonga and Samoa probably have closer ties, being that they are Polynesian and Fiji is Melanesian, but they both share the Lapita people as distant ancestors. This fact I found really interesting. Tonga is the only Pacific nation to never have relinquished sovereignty to any foreign power, including the British Empire.
Interesting.
So it did have British protected state status from 1900 under a Treaty of Friendship, but they never relinquished their sovereignty.
So they had
So that
a
includes
treaty.
Australia as well, right?
So they had a treaty since 1900 as a state status treaty of friendship, and Australia still hasn't sorted one out until 2026. Interesting.
Yeah.
They had
Yeah,
bigger fears, maybe. I don't know.
I thought that was really interesting when I read that. So
It
yeah, that
is.
includes New Zealand, Australia, like the big boys.
Yeah, great.
And you got Tonga sitting there.
Good on them.
Never ceded power. In 2010, the country changed from an absolute monarchy to a semi-constitutional monarchy, and they now have partial representative elections. Possibly in not so great, not so great for Tonga. They're listed as sixth on the list of most corrupt nations in the world.
Ouch.
Is this due to the royal family and nobles largely owning all the telecommunication and satellite services? Yes. Yes, it is.
Ouch.
Yeah, it was all positive reading till I found that. And I'm like, obviously, being fans of rugby union and league, we are well aware of Tonga's sporting prowess, with many players building careers in foreign countries, including through Europe as well. Tonga, Samoa, Fiji, they'll feature very heavily in rugby union teams. Moving on to drinks. Kava is their traditional drink, which is crushed from the roots of the kava plant. Is used as a recreational drink, but also features heavily in traditional kava ceremonies. It has psychoactive effects comparable to alcohol, but without cognitive impairment or addictive risks.
I disagree with that. I don't have to tell you about having kava with the chief in Vanuatu. My wife had to help me back into the van. It was. I shouldn't have had the big coconut shell, but yes. On to beer.
Yeah, so just as a quick aside, going back to last year when I busted my shoulder being tackled by Trev Leota, that night we had a kava ceremony at the Sunnybank clubs, and Trev was saying that kava would be very beneficial for my injured shoulder. I don't know whether it
I was
or
there.
not.
I agree. You didn't complain about it once that night.
Yeah.
All right, on to beer. The Pacific Brewing Company is Tonga's primary craft brewery, producing Maui Lager, Tiki Pale Ale, and Puloto Coconut Stout, and a sparkling kava. So the
Okay.
sparkling Cava would be interesting because
You want
I
bubbly
would
dirt.
I would not have described Cava as a sparkling clear or as a clear drink to start with.
Yeah.
So that
Well, it
sounds
doesn't
really
have to
interesting.
be clear to be sparkling.
You wouldn't see the bubbles.
No.
You
Would
taste
you
it.
like a nice glass of mud, sir? Yeah.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah, Tonga seems quite young in its craft brewery journey. More commonly, restaurants and bars are offering their own brewed on premise beers, rather than more kind of established breweries distributing. One place that got a lot of mentions is the Tapas Nuku'alofa, which is in the capital city, obviously, and they're getting some good raps for their focus on experimental brews with using local tropical fruit infusions. There was a few other venues which seem to sometimes offer local craft beers, bit hit and miss by the sounds of it. And the general tip was just ask a local.
Yep.
Tongan hospitality is absolutely legendary, and someone will point you in the right direction. And there we
Very
go,
cool.
Tonga.
I wonder if anyone's tried to do a beer with Cava. That's interesting.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Would it fall under the same kind of problems with THC and marijuana, and that it's a psychoactive? So would it?
That
Would
you
that
can't
be?
have? It'd be a non-alcoholic Cava
Yeah.
beer. Yeah, and then it'd be same like betel nut from Papua New Guinea. Could you have a betel nut beer, but it'd have to be non-alc because of the conflicting things. Anyway, I digress. Any more beer news before we go to guess a brewery in 10-ish questions?
Nope, I'm done.
So I did have a brewery, but Angus, you've jumped in with one tonight.
Yep, I got one.
All right, Caesar and I will take turns. So, is it an Australian brewery?
Yep.
All right, Caesar.
Is it an East Coast brewery?
Yep.
Is it one that we would see in bottle shops regularly?
Yep. I'm going to count questions because I think this one is pretty guessable. That's 3 questions.
Okay, so I'm thinking big boys.
Is that a question?
Yeah. Is it one of the major breweries, or do one of the major breweries own it? I guess.
Oh.
Yeah. It's not independent.
Are they based in New South Wales?
Nope. 5.
Are we going Queensland?
Yep. 6.
Gold Coast?
Yep. 7.
Bolter.
Yep. Bolter.
Yeah. Nice.
And that was 8 questions.
Very cool.
And I was going to be narky on the 10 questions for that one.
Yeah. and fair enough too.
I made it a bit easy once you said Gold Coast and big boy. I'm like, there's only a few that are.
Yeah.
Well known for the Amarillo loaded Scott Hardgrave recipe that was Bolter XPA. It sort of changed what XPAs really were in this country, and has stood the test of time.
See it everywhere.
Yeah, I'll quickly rip through some of the answers, or some of the answers I had for you. So, I was going to say that the brewery is probably balanced between being known for a particular beer and who was involved in starting it.
Yep.
So I think
the surfers. Yep.
First came up was there's those 4 surfers. Probably the more famous of Mick Fanning and Joel Parkinson, starting a brewery where everyone had doubts about the actual quality of the beer coming out, but bringing Scotty Hargraves on, he knows beer. So I had my doubts on whether it was just another celebrity beer brand, but the Bolter XPA was a banger.
Yeah.
There's that one, and the other big clue I was going to have was the World Tinny Hurling Championships.
Oh yeah, Tins of Glory.
Tins of Glory. So that was the other big clue I had. If you didn't get it from Tins of Glory, then I don't know what you're doing.
Very cool. No, and they just at Traders Way at Currumbin, they were just a little bit on that block, and they just keep growing and growing in that whole cul-de-sac there, or sort of ring road there. But no, really cool. So in sport, I didn't have much other than the NRL 6 again comp. And all I'm saying is that the underdog teams are going very well, and my Tigers are second on the table. We should just finish the season now, go straight to the final. Yeah.
Luke, I think it's now the Disruptor comp.
yeah, running in. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, what about AFL? How's it travelling?
Lions, they had the gather round on the weekend. Lions again got snubbed by being stuck out in the middle of Barossa with 10,000 crowd. But oh well, you know, they still had a good win on the weekend with two of their captains coming back, which is really, really good. Still a big controversy overall with, so they're fighting about the moment because it's a he said, she said between ref and a player about calling him whether he called him a cheat or how much he's getting paid or something. So
yeah,
always good for the kids. Just shut your mouth when you get a penalty against you. Just easier.
They should teach them that from young age. Yeah.
Oh, look, they tried a couple of years ago to really, like, any mouthy or any dissent at all would get a penalty straight away, but they sort of relaxed it a little bit, and it came to a head on the weekend.
Yeah.
But I mean, it sounds like a lot more of it was just the ref didn't quite hear it, or he heard someone from the crowd yell something and thought it was the player next to him. But that's not the point. He was still remonstrating about the penalty and didn't help.
Yeah, just cop it, move on.
Mm.
Or do an official challenge, which does AFL have a challenge system?
No, they just sort of they get a 50-minute penalty and they usually kick a goal or set up a goal from it.
Yeah,
it's pretty. It basically just tells you just shut your mouth. The one thing I will say that AFL doesn't do that rugby and league both do is or in the main game, they never do, but in the juniors, you see it a little bit. They don't do send-offs. You get reported, you get booked and reported, but that's about it. So you can, it can get quite interesting from that. But I will say though, I've been served a lot recently, and I think rugby are onto it about remonstrating with the refs. If you ever get a chance, watch some of the Nigel Owen comments to players, and he is amazing.
He's a legend.
Yeah.
Yep. And how is Union going, Angus?
Another awesome weekend of rugby. Pleasingly, the Reds closed out a very close match against the Crusaders. So it was 19-all with 10 minutes left, and the Reds scored 2 tries and kept the Crusaders out. So that was the first time I've beaten the Crusaders at home since 2011.
That's pretty decent, yeah.
15 years of consecutive losses to the Crusaders. And actually, 2011 was the last time the Reds won the Super Rugby title.
I was going to say, was that the one at home?
Yeah, that's the one I had the membership for, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm not saying anything, but I'm saying something. My pick of the team was Filippo Deganu. He had an absolute blinder. He was playing like a back and a forward. He was tackling everything, running everything, stealing everything. It's just a blinder. He's got to be in the Australian team.
Yeah, great.
Unfortunately, Carter Gordon went off with a knee injury. No word yet. Well, I haven't seen anything yet on whether that's serious or not. But I mean, all Aussie fly halves need time as much time in the saddle as possible, especially against New Zealand teams to get their experience up and kind of building composure in tight games against good opposition. So that's unfortunate.
It is.
The match of the weekend I thought was going to be the Hurricanes versus the Blues. So 1-3 on the ladder, I think. and ended up with pretty one-sided affair, and Crusaders taking the win, 42-19. The Blues hardly fired a shot, so yeah, that was weird. And talking about Polynesians and Islander rugby, Moana Pacifica not going to be renewing their license next year.
Oh,
So they've failed to gain new sponsorship for next year, so they'll be forced to drop their license out of Super Rugby, which is unfortunate because we're seeing a lot more players come through that kind of stream, and not just through the Australian, New Zealand clubs. So that's
yeah.
unfortunate. I've got,
Luke. Well, sorry. Once you finish, sorry, Angus. On that, I know if it sort of leads back into what you're talking about with the league, there's a chance of the PNG team coming into the league. Would that be a problem for the PNG team getting sponsorship?
No, lots of sponsorship. Unfortunately, because of, well, they are coming in. It's 2028. PNG's coming in. They will be known as the Chiefs. It's the Perth Bears that come in next year. The Australian government has backed the PNG side, and makes sense because we back PNG a lot. A lot of their annual budget comes from the Australian taxpayers, and that's because our mining companies have basically gone in and absolutely raped their natural resources. So what you'll see probably is one of those big miners, BHP, LNP, Rio Tinto, or something like that, probably be a major sponsor of the PNG Chiefs, unfortunately. The biggest problem they have is a lot of people are worried about the gambling aspect. Apparently, gambling is rife in PNG, sports gambling, and it's rife here as well. And there's a lot of people who want a stadium, who want the travelling people, the teams, and everything like that. But there's been a lot of community unrest about the gambling aspect of having PNG as in part of the NRL.
Interesting.
That's my 2 cents.
Yeah, the last little bit I got is I have to imagine that Artie Sevilla leaving Moana Pacifica this year for a sabbatical in Japan really put a dent in their rugby and marketing efforts.
Yeah.
And so he's back next year, like in the Super Rugby. So there's going to be a lot of teams scrambling to make space in their salary caps to bring Artie back on board. He originally played at Hurricanes before he went to Moana.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sure there'll be some scrambling to get him on board.
Hurricanes will probably grab him if they can.
You'd imagine he'd go back there, yeah.
Yeah. So a couple of late additions that I missed in our ticket. You have home brew news.
Yeah, it's homebrews. Yeah, I got my English barley wine bottled during the week. I was a fair way down on volume from my recipe, so I got some things to sort out with the equipment profile. So now I've got the barley one out of the road. I can brew some sensible stuff that'll make it much easier to dial on the equipment profile of my brew father.
We'll try a wheat wine now.
Wheat wine? No. I'm actually going to brew a citrus mash. Bloodfields and Citra. I've brewed it a bunch of times on my 3 vessel and my previous single vessel, so this should give me a good handle on dialing in that profile.
Yeah, nice.
I suppose they'll be ready a little bit earlier than the 18-month on English barley.
Yeah, the Citra will be ready in probably 3 weeks. But yeah, the barley one, I'm never going to bother trying that for at least 12 months. I'm hoping to leave it 18. So yeah, see how I go.
And Caesar, you had one little bit of beer news that you had a ticket about the Korean International Beer Awards.
Yeah, I've just been following particularly Hendo and Dan's over there at the moment doing the judging for the KIBAs.
Yep.
Which is really, really good. From a steward or from a post tasting point of view, from as you well, many will know, we do the Queensland Beer Awards. They pulled all the empties out of the fridge and chucked them on a table for them this afternoon. So Hendo was trying a matcha, but looked like there was a lot of interesting beers on that table for them to try out, which is really, really good to see. Something that,
One interesting story I saw during the week was from Stony Creek in Ipswich. Their beers went from Melbourne to Adelaide to Melbourne to Sydney to Adelaide, didn't end up in Korea. So one of their team members grabbed a carton and flew over there to deliver the beers. And then they were late. They were late but they got them in somehow. That's pretty intense. And I think Australia Post might have something because it was like a 3-day express international, pay lots of money to get these beers over, and I think they've ended up in Adelaide instead of. I think they went to Brisbane twice. It was just a crazy story. So interesting to see how they turn out with their Korean International Beer Awards.
I do remember reading about that, but I didn't really have time to look at it properly. So good pick up there on that one, Luke. I do know too.
Quality.
Yeah, I know. I do know Hendo tends to just take beers over as carry on. So
I think
the last couple of years,
he took Carbon 6 and
Dan
took all the hiker beers over.
Yeah.
Interestingly, I don't know I assume you guys saw the post during the week, but Hendo ended up at Art Monster, which is the brewery I was talking about last week.
Yes.
Well, that was really cool.
Yes.
Yeah. He wanted to know, so obviously he hasn't been listening to the podcast. Bad Hendo.
And turns out he's a bit of a Madonna fiend. Apparently, he went to karaoke last night and was doing like a prayer.
Oh dear. Okay. And on that note,
I still maintain that karaoke is the second worst invention in the history of mankind, with number one being the nuclear bomb.
Yeah, pretty close second too. Yeah. On that haunting image of Hendo singing Madonna, let's finish this podcast, and I will catch you all next week.
All right. Thanks, everyone. See ya.
Adios. Bye.
Yeah.